Always good.
What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls Postgame. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's Big Dave clapping. Bam! Bam! BAWL Sports. Man in the middle. Will_Perdue 32. Power producer on the controls, the one and only Katie Duffy. Bulls get the win over the Orlando Magic 102-99.
Katie, hit me. Come on, Katie, hit me. Slap me in the face. Bulls win. Give me another one. Bulls win. Give one for Will Perdue. Bulls win. Give one for Joakim Noah. Bulls win. Give one for Bill Cartwright. Bulls win. And Katie, drop the bomb on him. Bulls win. Let's go.
Thank you for joining us out there in Bulls Nation. If you are hanging out with us on YouTube, do us a favor, hit that like button while you're hanging out. Throw us a super chat if you're feeling generous tonight. Let us know your thoughts on tonight's game. We'll get to as many of your comments as we can to break down this thrilling and weird and wild victory at the Madhouse. The Bulls now 3-2.
Yeah.
Climb above 500 for the first time since November 5th, 2022.
Wow.
Nearly 2 years to the day.
Oh my God!
So for everybody out there in Bulls Nation, not to throw some around your parade
Let them
right
have
now,
some joy.
Hey, who's excited for another play-in tournament?
I'm happy that they are
that's one.
3-2. Oh my goodness gracious!
Woo! It was an entertaining game in all kinds of ways. Beautiful basketball, ugly, horrible basketball.
Yeah, man. Started off, Orlando started off looking like they were the Orlando Magic. We are coming here to destroy you. And Paolo was doing Paolo things. We thought it was about to be a masterclass, as my boy just said to me, man. And then when Will Perdue and I got there, everything changed. Everything flipped and changed as soon as Will walked in the room. Will is the man, by the way. Shout out to him.
In that building?
Oh, my God. Shout out to Will Perdue, hanging out with him. We were in the BMO Club. The BMO Club? Is that what it is?
Yes.
We were in the BMO Club, dog. I ain't never been over there. I didn't even
know such a thing existed.
Oh, Matt.
That's clearly a VIP area.
It's VIP. Oh, my God. Yo, it is amazing over there, man. Goodness gracious. I've been watching games all wrong. And I will now officially want to go whenever Will Perdue wants to go watch a game. I don't care who it is. It could be a high school game. I want to go with Will Perdue. I want to hang out with that. But I digress. I got to talk ball with Will while we were sitting there and watching that game. And what was amazing to watch, Will, is we talked a lot about Josh Giddey and how he played. And the threes he was hitting, he hit one three where Will and I just kind of looked at each other like, what?
Oh, the one he came down on the fast
break. Was it the pull-up one?
Yes, that's exactly the one. We look at each other like, for real?
My jaw was on the floor.
This is what's happened. This is what he's about? Oh, my God. He played great tonight. He brought it. He attacked. He did what you talked about, Will, what Orlando likes to do and how they like to attack. Giddey, anytime he saw a smaller guy back on their heels while he was bringing the ball up, he went straight to the bucket, and he was able to draw fouls and get to the foul line. And the passes he was making to Zach LaVine and the passes he was making to Nikola Vucevic when Vooch was sealing little guys down in the paint, like it was just a really great game by Josh Giddey.
I think that's what we came to realize. Remember when we go back to media day and just listening to that guy talk about the game.
Yeah.
Is at a different level.
Yeah.
I said that guy's talking chess when we're playing checkers.
Yeah, you did say this.
But his vision and the way he sees the game and the way he recognizes things, as you just talked about, the mismatches, whether it was Vooch, whether it was Zach, regardless, he was getting that ball to the right guy at the right time. And he's just, again, I keep saying, he's mesmerized. He mesmerizes me. It was when I just love to watch him play on the ball, off the ball. as far as just how that goes because of his knowledge and how he plays. It's just so fun. And it's almost like we've seen a progression very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, we keep talking about, man, that last game was the best game he's played. We said even though they lost, he still played pretty well against OKC.
Mm-hmm.
Then he played better against Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's played the last 3 games. That's his best game of the year.
Yeah.
And now you can say, but this game I can honestly say was the most aggressive I've seen him. Maybe you want to use the word assertive as far as just attacking the basket, the heady dribble, changing speeds, getting to the rim, making the right pass. I mean, you think about as much as the ball was in his hands, and also 31 minutes, the most he's played all year. How much the ball's in his hands, 1 turnover.
Crazy. He was so good, man. On both ends, I thought he was solid. Like he didn't get lost on the defensive end at all. It wasn't. I'm not saying he was world beating guys out there, anything like that on defense. But I talk about this to you, man. When I talk about Zach LaVine, I just want you to be out there. You know what I'm saying? Make yourself known and seen.
Try.
He has some effort going on, man. You can't just do it on one side of the floor. You got to do it on both. And I thought he really did do that. They definitely gave up a bunch of easy buckets to Orlando where guys were getting lost, where they were forgetting to double team certain guys or they were double teaming the wrong guy.
Yes.
Those things definitely happened in that game, but I like how Giddey kind of made up for those on the other end of the floor. Just really key buckets, and nothing was really out of control. Like, he was pretty much in control of the whole thing. And when his 3-point shot is falling, he's just a different player. I mean, you could say that about a bunch of players for sure.
Sure, but Giddey, we came into this trade and talking about him as a defensively challenged player, to put it kindly.
Yeah, very kindly.
And then an offensively limited player.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, here's what he can do on the floor. He's got a great basketball IQ. He's got great core vision.
Mm-hmm.
He's a setup man, but he's no threat around the perimeter.
Yeah.
Which is what largely, between that and his defense, played him off the floor when OKC was making a playoff run last spring. So if Giddey all of a sudden, hey, Peter Patton, are you the best shooting coach in the history of the sport of basketball? I don't know. But Giddey was 4-4 tonight.
Crazy.
And that last one, the pull-up one in transition, I was like, what is going on?
What is happening? Wow.
But it makes Giddey a completely different player. If that 3-ball is legit, it makes him a completely different threat on the court. And we were talking about it in pregame, Will, talking about how much Zach has benefited from Lonzo Ball, who, as we discussed in pregame, out for 10 days with the wrist sprain, and the arrival of Giddey, and them as setup men and allowing Zach to thrive off the ball, which we've never seen enough of as Bulls fans. Mm-hmm. And tonight, in that fourth quarter from hell for both teams, the Bulls had a barrage of threes in the third quarter to close that gap. Yeah. And then they won the fourth quarter 16-12. No one could buy a bucket. But one of the things that they did do, the Bulls more so than Orlando, to get that lead and hold it, however short it was, get to the free throw line. No shots are falling for anyone. The Bulls and Magic started the fourth quarter combined 0 of 23 from the field.
That's insane.
But one of those key trips to the free throw line was a Giddey, just eye contact, Zen kind of moment.
Yeah.
With
another backdoor.
With Zach LaVine, who faked his guy right and then cut backdoor, got fouled at the hoop, Will.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, as they talked about on the broadcast, that's just comfort.
Yeah.
Okay? That's repetition. But I think that's something that we really haven't thought about was Josh Giddey as a leader. Right? Okay. We talked about who's going to be the leader on this team. Is it Coby? Is it Io? Is it Zach? We never even mentioned Giddey. Mm-hmm. We talked about him being a facilitator. Sometimes we can focus too much on what a player can't do instead of what he can do. Mm-hmm. And that's one of 3 things that I've noticed about him since he's been here. 1, he's more of a leader because he really talks and communicates. Mm-hmm. Okay. 2, he's obviously a much better rebounder, had 11 tonight. But what I noticed more so about the number of rebounds he got against Memphis was how many times he blocked out the bigger guy on the switches. Mm-hmm. He didn't get the rebound, but also their guy didn't get the rebound. Whether it was Jackson, whether it was Edey. he basically would sacrifice his body to prevent his man from getting the rebound, even though he didn't get it.
Yeah.
That's something you don't get credit for. And then also the leadership values of, talking to these guys during timeouts, on the floor. I mean, he's kind of like a captain out there. You see him pointing, talking, putting guys in the right position. And that's the other thing is that when he's on the floor now, you as a player mentally, it's almost like you feel comfort because now that he's out there. Okay, if the offense is having struggles and you're sputtering, you're like, all right, this is the guy that's going to get us going again. Mm-hmm. And maybe not so much, but it's just the confidence you have of playing with him. It's the effect that he has on everybody on the floor when he's that's playing at the moment when he steps on the floor because of how he plays. Mm-hmm. Specifically, more so now. I don't want to say Vooch is checked out or had checked out, but he was really getting frustrated over these last couple of years about how hard he was playing and digging down into the post and pinning guys, and they just weren't passing the ball into the post.
Sure.
You and I were talking about this while we were at the game because the Bulls were on offense where we were on our end. Mm-hmm. And, it's been a while since I've seen Vooch work that hard to get the basketball.
Okay.
And not so much that he doesn't work hard, but to stick with it.
Yeah.
As far as stepping in, pinning the guy, doesn't get the first pass, keeps the guy pinned, changes direction with footwork. So when the ball goes to the wing, he's still got the guy pinned. The ball goes to the baseline, still got the guy pinned. They probably could have called 3 seconds on him numerous times, but they don't really call that a lot.
Yeah.
And, up and under, left-hand hook, right-hand hook. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just those of us that were wondering how he's going to fit in with this new offense, I think he's answered that question already.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing, just to piggyback on that of what Vooch did, the rebounding of the Chicago Bulls was outstanding tonight. 54 to 42. Excuse me. And individually, it was wild. Matt, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong on any one of these numbers. Zach LaVine with 10 rebounds.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Patrick Williams with 7 rebounds.
Correct.
I'm gonna
Call
get into
the
that.
news.
I'm gonna get into that for us in a second. Vooch with 14 rebounds.
Correct.
Josh Giddey with 11 rebounds.
Correct.
These are all starters.
3 starters in double digits on the glass.
And Pat 7 might as well be 15.
I'm sorry, no.
For Pat,
no.
For Pat, that might as well be 15 rebounds for Patrick Williams, dog. This is a dude was averaging 3. I'm just saying, yes. Don't forget this. This is a dude who's averaging that, man. So, and again,
way to clear that bar, Pat.
He's getting up there. He's getting up there. I believe this is Patrick's 4th straight game of 5+ rebounds, something he did not do at all last year. So,
and Coby only had 2 tonight.
2.
And after their 4th game, he had overtaken Coby and was no longer the starter with the fewest rebounds per game.
Yeah.
So
awesome. And you saw Coby a lot in this game, a lot more catch and shoots from Coby. And I thought he and Suggs battled. Definitely. They were going at it against each other. Suggs was getting the best of him sometimes, but Coby wouldn't stop coming. And he kept going at him. 4 of 10 from the 3-point line? That's 40%, ladies and gentlemen. 8 of 16 from the field with 21 points, 3 assists, got himself a steal. Like, these are the things I love. And these are the things I enjoy seeing watching this team play, because it's not the way you get out in transition is through getting the actual rebounds. Watching Patrick Williams actually battle people for rebounds was amazing to me. Like, I know Vooch is going to get it. He had a double-double in the first half. He had 10 points in rebounds in the first half, man. But Zach LaVine, 11 points, but 10 rebounds. This is what I want all other teams who are thinking about getting Zach LaVine on their team to be looking at. This is the stuff I want you to be looking at right here. You saw he didn't score a lot. The man didn't take 10 shots. He had 9 shots.
Wild.
2 of 9. 1 of 4 from the 3-point line. That is not the Zach LaVine we know. This is a guy who's been scoring, doing all this other stuff. But what he said was, okay, not working for me. Other guys are cooking. Other guys are killing it, doing a great job. How can I help affect the game and do something else? This is stuff I've been yelling about for Zach LaVine over the past couple of years, that when your shot's not going, what else can you do? You have to show everybody, including the team you're on now, that there are other things that you can provide out there on the floor just because your shot isn't going. We talked about that with Coby over the years. When your shot isn't working, what can you do? Well, now Coby can do everything. With Zach, this is what I want to see. 10 boards is huge for a guy like Zach LaVine, for a dude who's just known to be that shooter who can't get to the foul line and stuff like that. I can still do something in this game to help affect winning. This is what I want to see from my man Zach LaVine. Kudos to him.
And not only what else can I do to affect the game in a positive way, I'll attack the glass, my shot's not falling. Even despite what looked like playing through an injury, some sort of aggravated shoulder or something. We'll ask Goat if we got an update on that when he joins us later. But attacking the basket. Got to the free throw line. 6 of 8 at the free throw line.
Yes.
Find other ways to score. Love seeing that from Zach LaVine, especially if it was, I'm going to aggressively, physically drive, even though my shoulder's bugging me right now. Right. We got to take our first quick break. CHGO Bulls postgame. We will come back right on the other side to continue breaking this down and get your thoughts on tonight's win over Orlando. Stick around. Postgame tonight brought to you by Roback. You guys all know it by now. This time of year, little hoodie action.
A little bit.
Still warm enough to hit the golf course. Just ask Uncle Will.
Games are out.
You need that perfect active wear in your life, and it's quite simple. Roback offers the best fit, the best feel. The quality of their gear just speaks for itself. Their performance polos perform better in the heat, more so than any other polos. With that moisture wicking technology, the polos don't stick to you and still give you a nice stretch. Their everyday shorts are also perfect for a combo of any kind of day you have on deck, on the move, looking clean, going out with your friends, with your loved ones, but still the comfort of that elastic waistband. Yes, please, and thank you very much. With fall here, what better item to prepare for the season than adding one of their performance hoodies to your closet? They're the softest items around. Once you put it on, you won't be able to take it off wherever you are, whatever the weather. Use promo code CHGO Bulls 20 on Roback.com for a generous 20% off your first order. That's spelled RHOBACK.com. 20% off all polos, all hoodies, and all shorts with that promo code CHGO Bulls 20, CHGO Bulls 20. Make sure to check out Roback.com, and they'll have you ready for whatever travels or activities you have on deck.
Will Perdue?
Yes, sir.
What time is it?
Game time.
We were looking for who?
Looking for a hoot. Game time hoot. Game time. It's got a new feature with Perdue. It's called Game Time Picks. That makes getting tickets for your favorite live events easier than ever.
Hoot.
See, there you go. Come on, Will. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. It makes it easier than ever to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, whatever you want to see. Save you some money with Game Time Picks. Also, the all-in pricing. Also, the lowest price guarantee. Also, the Matt Peck and Big Dave favorite, the seat views. We need them. We're going to stretch. Where's the concession stand? Where's the bathroom? We need to know all this. It's important.
You guys aren't old enough to have to ask where the bathroom is yet.
But we are big enough and tall enough. We need to know these things. We don't want to move.
Drink a lot of beer, Will.
Yeah, we do that too.
What?
We embrace chill around here. And of course, the Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying those tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use that code CHGO. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase.
There's blood.
That's CHGO. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase.
There's blood.
Download Game Time today. Because Katie, what time is it?
Game time who?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Well done.
That really sounded like an owl.
You know who was ready for Game Time who tonight?
Please tell me.
Io freaking Dosunmu. Can we talk about him for a second?
Let's get into it.
While we talk about Io, all of you out there in Bulls Nation, all 500 plus of you hanging out with us live on YouTube right now, hey, appreciate y'all for being here. We'll appreciate you even more if you hit that like button.
Please, Katie
It'll take
needs
2
it.
seconds. Katie needs it. Don't make us bring out Troll Joe.
Don't do it.
He's hiding right now.
Yeah.
Just give him the thumb.
Yeah.
In the comments, we got Tirona's Bologna, great name, saying Io gave the Bulls exactly what we needed tonight. Niles Reed saying Io looks like baby Drew out there tonight, as in Drew Holiday. Look, before that barrage of threes in the third quarter, when I think the Bulls made 6 straight, Patrick started off with back-to-back threes. Coby made one. Vooch made one. Giddey made a couple, including that pull-up. Went nuts, blew the roof off the place. Before that, when the Bulls were struggling offensively in the first half, and Orlando was pretty much getting whatever they wanted. Shout out Paolo and Suggs, who we talked about in pregame, getting whatever they wanted. It was Ayo and Coby who kept the Bulls within striking distance. Coby with some tough buckets here and there, and then just Ayo getting out in transition every once in a while. When the rest of his teammates were not the running Bulls yet, everybody was kind of loafing around. There were a few different opportunities where Ayo grabbed a rebound or grabbed a loose ball or got a quick outlet pass and said, I'm just taking this to the rack. And how often have we seen Ayo do that over the last couple of years?
Oh, quite often. And it's always fun to watch when he does it. He started off doing that a lot his rookie season. And then the second year, they started blocking those layups. And then he said, I'm going to just start dunking the basketball now. And now he's just realizing his quickness and his speed and how he can affect the game out there on the floor. I always enjoy watching out because no matter where you plug him in, you're going to be okay. Whether he's going to be your starter, whether he's going to be coming off the bench, you feel completely fine with him being out there on the floor, no matter who they have on the opposite end guarding or who he has to guard. You're comfortable. Like that's what you say about a pro's pro. And to say that about somebody who isn't even like 6 years into the league is really awesome to say about a guy like Dosunmu, man. He's been like this since day one. And again, this is a guy who struggled as well, Will, to start the season. Like his shot was not falling, it wasn't hitting, but it didn't deter anything about his game. Like you never saw him really get down. You never really saw him, just pout or anything like that. Like he kept doing the same things because he has that belief that, oh yeah, my shot's going to fall. Oh yeah, things are going to change for us. So 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists off the bench, 6 of 8 shooting. He missed his only 3, but again, it was his only 3. He was like, I don't need it tonight. I'm going to the bucket. I'm trying to score.
A couple things stood out. Did Suggs have 10 early points?
He had 13 at half.
And he ended up with 17.
Yeah.
And Ayo was a big reason defensively. Because we've seen Suggs torch this team and have, considerable success. It almost felt like Ayo took that as a personal challenge. Obviously, Ayo didn't start the game on him, but the effort that Ayo was putting forth on defense, going over top of screens, he was making life really difficult for Suggs. Okay, number one. Number two, the speed at which he plays. I mean, remember the one miss where the defender was actually in front of him at half court? He threw the ball out, chased it down, put it on the deck, and actually beat the defender to the bucket for a layup. That's really hard to do. That's an effort play. And then just the constant aggravation of help defense, deflections. You were talking about the rebounding, the 4 rebounds, and then also 4 assists, 0 turnovers. We came into the season wondering, okay, we saw what he did his rookie year. Then he struggled. He kind of was, I wouldn't say he was in a sophomore slump because it had anything to do with his effort. He just, you were like, oh my God, this is a guy we thought was going to end up being in the G League a lot his rookie year, but was not, started a bunch of games. This guy, he's going to make this huge jump for the sophomore year, and he didn't. Then he really worked on his game, and then you saw what he did last year. You're like, okay, should we lower our expectations a little bit? Not that he's going to improve, but what we'd like to see and where we think he should get to. So now, what has he gotten bigger? He's gotten stronger. He's gotten quicker. His shot is still right there. I mean, he's knocking down threes. I know he struggled last game, 0 for 1 tonight. But to me, in the short period now of 5 games, he seems like a more complete player now this year than he has in any other year. So, again, more growth from Coby at the beginning of this season.
Wow. Shout out Dosunmu. That's high praise.
Somebody in the comments saying, Morgan Park's own Ayo.
Yeah.
Well, I think that
Iron
also
Torch saying
says
he's got a pretty big chip on his shoulder this year. I don't know if you're referring to the fact that some of us thought maybe before the Caruso for Giddey trade happened that Ayo finally was going to earn himself like an actual permanent starting spot on this team.
Yeah.
And now with Giddey's arrival, he's coming off the bench again. But chip or no chip, it just seems like Ayo so many times throughout the last couple of years when the Bulls have needed a spark or needed somebody out there to be using their engine at 100 as opposed to working their way up to it. Ayo's engine always seems to be at 100 when he's out there.
Absolutely. Go ahead, bro.
Well, it's that specific play against Memphis on Monday where Stacey highlighted. He went all the way from the left wing outside the three-point line, sprinted up underneath the basket after, I forgot who it was, for Memphis got the rebound, slapped the ball down, knocked it loose, picked it up, possession, set it up, run time off the clock. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of what Ayo does in a nutshell. It's kind of like, you need to be able to talk about what Ayo doesn't do instead of what he does do, because he does so many things. We could sit here for hours and talk about all the things that he does and how important he is to this team as far as the motor, how he plays. Mm-hmm. I mean, what it is the Bulls are trying to do right now fits perfectly for who Ayo Dosunmu is and what his game allows him to do.
Brian in the comments saying Ayo is leading. D-Law So 23 saying Vooch playing better now. I did want to touch on Vooch also, at least for a couple minutes, because he was like lights out from behind the three-point line through the first 4 games of the season. A pleasant change of pace from Vooch as far as his Bulls tenure goes. Mm-hmm. And tonight he didn't hit any. He was 0 of 3 from downtown, 7 of 16 from the field. So not exactly even a super efficient night. I saw him miss a couple bunnies, but you pointed out the double-double, Dave, 18 and 14. Mm-hmm. The 5 assists is what I wanted to touch on, because the Bulls did not have, a great assist number tonight like they have in these first 2 wins against Milwaukee and then Memphis. Mm-hmm. They had just 23 assists on 36 made buckets. The ratio there is still okay, but, we've seen multiple games with the Bulls getting well above 30 assists. So, it's just that when Vooch can use that element of his game, what we've talked about it since he arrived in that trade, and maybe underappreciated or underused element of Vooch's game, as much as we talk about Lonzo's return and his court vision, Josh Giddey's court vision. Vooch's court vision is also above average, bordering above average to elite, and you see him make plays for his teammates all the time if he is given those opportunities. Whether it's a night where his shot's falling or not, if the Bulls are playing a style of basketball offensively now that allow Vooch those opportunities to add in those layers of his game offensively, it's a much better version of Vooch.
Yeah. It's my favorite thing about his game is his passing, because it allows him to play the game on any part of the court on the offensive side of the ball. So it allows him to be at the three-point line, allows him to be on the baseline, allows him to be at the elbow, it allows him to be at the free throw line extended. It allows him to be in the paint, because he's got an IQ. When you can't be a good passer without, a pretty good IQ. So he's got a really good IQ out there. So when he gets that ball, he knows when to swing it. He knows when to take it. He understands who's open and where everybody is at. 5 is getting that from your center is huge. You see what it does, and again, this is a much bigger example. I'm not calling him this person. I'm just saying you see the effect that a guy like Joker has when you're a center and you can be facilitating the basketball for your team, because it's not expected. I don't care if teams know it's coming. It's not expected because it's a center. It's the same with Joakim Noah. We watched him do it for years. It's just not expected. I don't care if you game plan for it. Teams ain't thinking about it. It's like somebody who's a bad shooter. You're not expected. I don't care if you went 4 straight games, you're not missing a 3-point shot. You're going to get another wide open shot because I don't believe you. I don't believe you. So that's exactly what it is playing with Vooch, and teams forget about that and just how really good he is at a nice bounce pass, at a nice cross-court pass. His cross-court passing has always been really good. I'm remembering the time do you remember a few years back when they first got DeMar, and the Bulls absolutely struggled at getting the ball up the floor because teams would double team DeMar immediately, and he would pass it, and then nobody knew what to do after that. And I would sit on this show screaming, give Vooch the ball and let him facilitate once he gets it. And then they finally did it, and it worked. It was like, he can do that.
Vooch can find whoever abandoned their man to double team DeMar.
Exactly. And you're giving it to him free throw line extended top of the key. And he just finds who needs the ball. Oh, you're open. There you are, Ayo Dosunmu baseline 3. There you are, Coby White for a layup. It works well.
I know we got a break coming up, but the last thing, when you talked about IQ, what Vooch also does, he gets to the spot where the passer can get him the ball. Because I talk about this all the time. Hey, you know what? In the very opposite corner, you're wide open, but I can't get you the freaking ball because I'm double teamed, or I just can't. I won't, because I got a bigger man on me, so I can't get over this guy to get you the pass. But if you'll flash to an open area where I can actually get you the pass, I'll get it to you.
Yeah.
And Vooch finds those spots all the time. And he's not moving to those areas with the thought of scoring. He's moving to those areas to provide an outlet pass. And then he readjusts once he gets it, reads the defense, and then 9 times out of 10, he makes the right play. Right. It's not like you see Vooch catch and just put his head down and start dribbling.
Right.
He kind of, assesses the situation. Do I have a smaller man on me? Let me put it on the deck. Let me get into the paint. Mm-hmm. He's got the quick jumper. Like you said, he missed the threes, but, I just like how now he's become, again, another guy that's kind of stepped it up a little bit in the complete player category. Let's not talk about offense. Sure. I mean, defense, just on the offensive end and what he provides for this team. Mm-hmm. And, it was a off shooting night, but they still scored 102.
102. It's the new 80 in today's NBA. We got to take another break. Still ahead, we got Goon of the Night. We got GOAT Talk from the UC and plenty more from y'all, our fellow Bulls fans. Stick around here on CHGO Bulls Postgame.
Beer!
Mm-hmm.
This guy drinks it.
Oh, hello.
Because he gets it. He embraces that chill. Oh, look at that chill hat throw. That's a chill hat throw, ladies and gentlemen.
Sometimes you just want a chill one.
Sometimes you just want a chill one. Because between work, social media, and the choices life throws our way, it's no wonder we're more worked up. Coors Light celebrates rising above and choosing a chill mindset. Why not turn that rained out barbecue into the Will to Go Gottlieb and Will Perdue 624th annual karaoke house party? Why not? Or after a tough loss, settle scores with an ice cold peace offering. Make the choice to choose chill, then reach for a frosty cold Coors Light. It is mountain cold refreshment, because when those mountains turn blue, oh yes, you know what to do. It's cold lager, cold filter, and cold package for a smoother finish. That mountain cold refreshment that is crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rays. Make the most out of those times to choose chill. And choose a Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door via Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Basketball. That's CoorsLight.com/CHGO Basketball. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Postgame tonight also brought to you by Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings,
with a B,
Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more than or less than on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. One of my favorite things about Prize Picks is that they are the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy. So your lineups stay in play. Even if one of your players gets injured, if your player leaves in the first half, does not return in the second half, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live and active without that player who dealt with the injury that caused them to miss the rest of the game. Mm-hmm. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. They invented also the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit.
Ooh,
I love that.
That's pretty
It's
good.
turning a win into, I missed it.
Yeah.
Still a win. Way better than a loss.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
That's right. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code CHGO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Just a measly $5 lineup. That's promo code CHGO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
I do want to point something out. So
please do. I love when you point things out, Dave.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So like I said, you saw what Orlando was doing before Will and I got to the stadium.
Working the Bulls?
Yeah.
Building a nice, tidy 20-point lead?
Destruction, terror, and mayhem. What happened? We walked in, and then everything flipped. The Bulls started scoring. They started changing and doing their thing, And I was like, oh, okay, this game's getting interesting. Then Will said, okay, got to head back to the studio. What happens when we head back to the studio? They proceed to have a horrific fourth quarter. Nobody
but
scores.
So did Orlando.
I know. Hey, our effect is on everyone. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, the game just proceeded to be not good. And then we got back to the office, and then it picked up a tad bit, a little bit. So I just want to give some kudos to the 4-time champ and myself.
But there's also one last thing before we go to the GOAT. I can honestly say that this is the hardest I've seen this team play consistently game in and game out in the last 3 or 4 years. And so I think a lot of credit should be given to Billy for getting these guys to buy in to this style of play. I think these guys have realized how hard this is. So when they have off nights like tonight, they really have to lean on their defense. That has been questionable at best.
Yep.
But it hasn't really affected their effort. They've made mistakes, but as a guy from a coaching's perspective, they're making those mistakes at full speed. They're not half-assing it. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's when it's acceptable.
Zach LaVine did have another turnover night. He had 4, and one of them really had me rolling my eyes at first, and it was a transition opportunity where, I don't know if you remember it, he was right around bringing the ball past midcourt, and he was trying to make another pass ahead to, I think, Giddey or Aya, who was running on his left side. And an Orlando player got in his way and then, got a clean swipe on the ball on the pass attempt from Zach and went back the other way. And, we always roll our eyes at Zach LaVine turnovers, but he was trying to pick up the pace in a game when up to that point, Orlando had been dictating the pace, and the Bulls were trying to get some quick looks in transition. Yeah. So, like you said, Will, play fast, okay. If you're going to make mistakes trying to play the way that you set out and you said to your fans, we're going to try and play this way this year. Finally.
They do it.
With that, I heard a jingle. Katie, let's bring in the GOAT.
That's where it's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Joining us on the Go Talk Hotline, live from the United Center, is the one and only Will the Goat Gottlieb. Look at the quad. My God.
There he is.
Goat, before we get your thoughts on tonight's game and some locker room insider info, what can you tell us out of the gate injury-wise? Zach looked like he was favoring his left shoulder at various points throughout the night. Jalen Smith ended up being a late scratch with not the injury that had him on the injury report today and yesterday. Anything else we need to know injury-wise?
Zach said I think it was a stinger, basically. He just got an x-ray. He said everything's okay. So I guess it turned out negative. But, he was clearly laboring through that. And Billy had mentioned at halftime that he was getting worked on. And Zach said, look, let me give it a try for 5 minutes and we'll see how it goes. And then he just never came out. And so seems like that's okay. Maybe he gets a day off on Friday here if he needs one, but certainly does not seem like a long-term issue at all. Guys are icing various things, like Julian Phillips, I think, got popped in the mouth. He was icing his mouth. Patrick Williams was icing his shoulder. So I think, you're playing these NBA games. It's like you're going to have there's a physical toll to pay with that. Jalen Smith, Billy mentioned that it was, something having to do with warm-ups, but didn't really have a ton on that one either. So we'll keep our eyes out there. But I think it's just kind of like the bumps and bruises of the long and arduous 82-game NBA season. Unfortunately, they're only 5 games in, so they're going to have to try to stay healthy here. But obviously, Lonzo is already out for 10 days at least. Jalen Smith just missed the games. That got popped, so we'll see. But, hopefully nothing too long-term.
Will, 2 questions for you. One, can you talk about the game that Zach LaVine had and just his impact on it as far as just from even a rebounding perspective, just finding a way to try to help this team, get a victory tonight? And also, how cool was it for you and I to see each other across the stadium way where you were sitting to where I was sitting, pointing at each other and saying, what's up?
Yeah, I was going to start off by saying, I'm glad you're not big timing me anymore. I tried to kind of say hi to you, but didn't really work out that way. So it was fun to see you, put a smile on my face. And, I think it'd be nice to see a little bit more of you guys at Bulls games this year, but we'll see.
Yeah.
As far as Zach, clearly laboring, I think, through that second half, did not shoot the ball well. It was kind of the first game where he hasn't scored the ball really well. So unfortunately, the story I've been working on about how great Zach's been shooting the ball, might have to make some edits to that one. So that's too bad. But, he's just a very talented player. He's going to find ways to contribute. There's going to be times where you're putting him in a position where it's maybe not playing into his strengths, but I think he's talented enough that he's going to find ways to contribute in it. Even if he's not impacting the game with his scoring, he's still a threat out there. He's still bending the defense. He's still attracting attention, and that's creating opportunities and lanes for other guys. So I think, we talk a lot about the game where he got pulled and Jalen Suggs hit that 3. That was 2 years ago now. for the way that Zach was not contributing on the defensive end, not contributing, and impacting winning in addition to the fact that he was 1 for 14 that game. So kind of a cool, full circle moment where they've got an opportunity to win the game. They make a few defensive plays. Zach plays through an injury. He's out there the whole time. And even though he's not playing well, he is impacting winning and helping the team come back from down 20. So kind of a cool full circle moment here for Zach. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I picked the Bulls to start 0-5, and here they are 3-2.
Wow.
Well, I'm with you, buddy. I said there's a good possibility this team could start off 0-5.
I said 1-4.
It's and that's kind of leads into my question. The biggest reason I wanted to go to the game tonight was because, we know of what Orlando has done to this team in the past. Not only punked them, but then basically talked, crap to them while guys are sitting on the bench and got the best of them. Would you say the Magic had won 5 straight?
Yep, 5 straight coming into tonight.
And some of them were just ugly.
Yeah.
Like, beat downs.
Mm-hmm.
And they obviously got off to a bad start, but we saw the same thing against Memphis. But I just talked about right as you were coming on, I think the effort by this team, this is to me the hardest that they played in probably the last 3 years. I was curious, you were in Milwaukee, you're at the home games. What is it that you've seen that's different, that just stands out to you?
I think that's a really good observation. And what I was planning on writing about, because the way that this team is running and getting up and down and staying like really committed to that identity is just so different than anything we've seen from this group in the last 3 years. And that's really, I think, the biggest miscalculation on my part when I talk about how good I thought they were going to be this year is like, okay, if they're planning to be the same Bulls from last year, minus DeRozan, minus Caruso, of course they're going to be significantly worse than that. They're going to win, 10 plus fewer games, and they're really going to struggle and put themselves in position for a bunch of lottery balls. But they're not doing that. They're playing a completely different way. They're running up and down. And it's not just that they're like playing fast, it's that they're playing faster than everybody else. I mean, they were first in pace in the preseason. They're second in 3-point attempts. I'm not sure exactly where they are in those stats through 5 games here, but like the commitment to playing that fast. And Billy was saying, like, they just got to keep going, got to keep going, got to keep going. And that relentlessness, I think, is really wearing teams down. My hypothesis is that it's also affecting those teams on the offensive end. If they're so tired from trying to keep up with the Bulls defensively, that's bleeding into their ability to generate good shots on the offensive end. And I think you saw that tonight when the Magic didn't have a field goal for the first 6+ minutes of the fourth quarter. So you got to give the Bulls credit. I mean, they are bought into an identity that works for them. They're playing really well. I think there's some flukiness going on here. Like, I was talking with some friends, Bulls Jason Pat was saying that he's like back on his grind of looking at the opponent 3-point percentage shooting in the second half against the Bulls. So far this season, they were 25% in the second half. Teams were shooting 25% against the Bulls in the second half from 3. In this game, the Magic were 3 of 20 in the second half. So there's some flukiness there, and I think that will come back around a little bit. But you can't deny the fact that the Magic looked really tired. They looked like they were unorganized and just overwhelmed by the pace that the Bulls are playing. And I think that's intentional. That's what the Bulls are trying to do, because I think they know that they don't really have a good chance to win games. Billy said it pregame. If we don't run, we're done. And if we run, we'll maybe have some fun. So that's the motto, I think. And it rhymes, which I know Dale loves, but it also makes a lot of sense. And it is really affecting teams. You can really see it.
Don't run, you're done.
Just to clarify, coming into tonight's game, you said, you weren't sure through the first 5. Through the first 4, the Bulls were 3rd in the NBA in 3-point attempts per game and 1st in pace, which we discussed in pregame. But So I was going to bring up that Billy quote of, if we don't run, we're done, if you didn't do it yourself. I'm curious what you thought was the most interesting thing you heard from Billy breaking down this win tonight when he had his chance at the podium, because this game was all over the place. They dug themselves another 20-point hole. Yeah. They have a barrage of threes in the third quarter, like a little mini glimpse of what we saw in their wins against Milwaukee and Memphis. And then just a rock fight in the fourth quarter. Like, this game was all over the place. What did Billy attribute the win to most when he spoke to you guys after tonight's game?
I think it was just that their commitment to playing at that pace and wearing teams down, and the way that, I mean, it makes sense too. Like, the way that they are running yeah, like teams are going to have a hard time keeping up with them. And if they're tired, then they're not going to play as well offensively. And that's going to kind of unravel them on the defensive side, where now you're getting, Josh Giddey's not going to shoot 4 for 4 in a quarter from three, making pull up threes every time. But if the Bulls are running and gunning and doing their 7 seconds or less thing, then they're going to be getting good shots regardless. And I think it's like that commitment to a process as much as it is the result that you're looking for. They know that they have to buy into playing at that speed, because that's going to wear teams down. And if they can continue to do that, it's going to benefit them. And frankly, Billy has not said it in these words, but effectively what he's saying is we're not as talented as we were last year, in the form of we can just give a guy to Caruso and let him take that guy away, let him handle him. We're not that talented on the offensive side where we can just give it to DeRozan and let him create a good shot. They have to manufacture that through their style of play. And I think that's what you're seeing here. And that's why the Bulls have kind of overwhelmed some of these teams that just can't keep up with them.
Oh, yeah. Well, just real quick, because we've been heaping a lot of praise on Josh Giddey. You and I just in our quick talk during the game talked about that through Slack, just about Giddey.
Small time of day playing. That you gave me during the game.
That's it. But real quick, because we got to go to a break, just what you saw from Josh Giddey.
Yeah, he just looks confident out there. I think he's playing with intention. I think he's they're kind of giving him threes and he's taking them. He needs to do that to keep him honest, because when he's 4 for 4, you can't really give him that next one. Or if you do, then you have to pay the price. So I think he's got to keep taking those. I think he's done a really good job of getting downhill and drawing some fouls and trying to put pressure on the defense in the half court. That's, I think, where the Bulls are struggling. And you see that in the first quarters when they haven't yet worn the team down. They get slowed down into the half court and now they've got to create something. They're kind of putting that responsibility on Giddey. And, there's times where it looks good, where he's able to make some plays. The Bulls posted him up a little bit at the high post. They played him on the first possession of the game. They gave him the ball in the low post and he was able to come off of a screen from Vooch for a jump shot. I think they're trying to manufacture ways for him to put his imprint on the game. That's always going to be a bit of a struggle on the offensive end, just because of what his flaws are. But you're seeing what works in transition. And then obviously the shooting, if that's able to stay remotely consistent to where it's been, I think he's going to be really effective. So he's played great. I don't know that I trust the Bulls to continue to be, I was just looking it up, the 8th best defense in the league through their next 77 games. But, if they can replicate some of that, I think they'll be in an okay spot here. So he's been really solid. And I think, there's times where it slips or it doesn't look good, or, you can feel the negative impact that he has. But I think those times have been fewer and further between as we've come along here.
We got to go, Goat, and so do you. But who's your goon? And in 5 words or less, why?
Oh, goon of the night. Who do I go with? I mean, it might just be Giddey for the 4-4 threes. The pull-up three was just ridiculous in transition.
4-4. I heard he can't shoot threes. Go, we appreciate it, buddy. Bulls Nation, follow him, Will_Gottlieb. Read his stuff, allchgo.com. Buddy, we will see you soon. Get home safe tonight, all right?
See you guys.
We got Goon of the Night coming up next. Stick around. More CHGO Bulls postgame after this.
We here at CHGO are sponsored by the Chicago Sports Network, the new home for the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox games. CHSN will broadcast more than 300 live games per year across the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox, and will feature a full lineup of original Chicago-focused sports content. They are Chicago-based, they are Chicago-built, and Chicago to the bone. And they're bringing it to every corner of Chicago across our 77 neighborhoods and beyond. Shout out Buzz Lightyear. At CHSN, Chicago comes first. Visit CHSN.com for more info on how to watch Bulls, Hawks, and Sox games all season long. And after you watch those games, make sure you tune into the post games for the Chicago Bulls, the Blackhawks, and the White Sox right here on CHGO. Like now.
Tonight's show, quick reminder, if you can't get enough basketball talk in your life, we're listening to this Bulls podcast, maybe some other Bulls podcasts, you want a little national scope NBA talk?
Yeah.
Look no further, because the All City Network still has you covered there. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, you are missing out. Quick plug to the All NBA podcast from our friends across the All City Network. Tune in to the All NBA pod, the daily live show featuring our guy Adam Mares over there in Denver.
Shout out.
And the best basketball analyst in the world, my opinion, many's opinion, the one and only Tim Legler. They are back for season 2 of their pod, and more excited than ever to be breaking down the game the level of detail you won't find anywhere else. Every show, Legs and Adam break down the key moments, takeaways, and storylines surrounding the games all across the NBA. And get this, they've also this season added in our guy over there at DLLS, Mark Stein, to their rotation with the All-NBA pod. Stein will be joining the guys weekly to share insights from behind the scenes and around the association. Tune in live on their YouTube channel. They have their own YouTube channel, All-NBA Podcast. Go find it. You can find it in the other channels attached to CHGO Sports when you scroll down. The All-NBA Podcast, new episodes 4 times a week. You can subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts if you are an OG pod listener out there. Respect to you if you are. And not only that, I mean, I've been like regularly listening. Mars and Legler have done a great job. They launched last season. They're coming into year 2. Yeah. Stein coming on board. So excited about that.
Very.
Sneak preview or plug that Stein and Legs will also be occasionally throughout this season joining us on this here program.
Woo!
Can't wait for that.
Can't wait. I got questions.
So many questions.
I got so many questions, though.
First of all, Tim Legler, are you going to try to outdo Willie Gottlieb in a perfectly coiffed contest?
Ooh, who's going to be quaffing? We got to judge that from now on, dog.
Legs is always looking on point.
Always on point. We got to see who's winning the quaff off.
Be very careful with that.
It's the quaff off, Will. I choose my words carefully, sir. I choose my words very carefully. Man, I tell you. Quaff off. What are we doing? Goon of the night.
Oh, God. Bring us the goon.
Let's do this, Katie. Do this thing.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. Now, I'm the man.
Woo! Empire Today! Presenting Goon of the Night, because all they do is floors, no matter what. 580 to 300. Troll Joe! Tonight, Goon of the Night, ladies and gentlemen, is here. It's shiny. It's beautiful. Will Perdue.
Mesmerized.
I'm going to start. No, you keep yours. Because I just want you to look at how wonderful you looked in that belt reflection. He was mesmerized, as he said. Matthew Peck, we're going to start with you this time, sir. Who is your Goon of the Night? I am ready for this soliloquy right here. Come on, baby. Give it to me.
Yo, man. Look, I am going to line up right behind my guy, Willie Gottlieb.
Okay.
Is Josh Giddey. Because 4-4 from 3, the freaking confidence that Giddey's got to have after people spent most of the preseason completely ignoring him around the perimeter.
Yeah.
And to come into these games in the regular season and say, hey, if you leave me open, I'm going to take this. And it's not just the 4-4 tonight. He's shooting like damn near 50% from 3 or something like that so far this season.
Yeah.
He's not taking a zillion shots behind the arc, but he's taking them when they make sense in the flow of this offense that he has done a really solid job orchestrating through these first 5 games. So before tonight, he was, let's see, 6 of 13. Add 4-4 to that. 10 of 17. He's shooting over 50% from 3.
That's ridiculous.
Through these first 5 games. And the emotion that he showed running back down to the court, embracing his teammates, Coby White, Aya, whoever else it was, waiting for him, as Orlando called the timeout, as that Giddey pull-up transition 3, like, that was the boiling point of that Bulls third quarter barrage, that comeback.
Yeah.
Anytime a player shows that amount of passion on an NBA court, regardless of what I'm looking for long-term, I will always respect it, and I will always goon my freaking self out about it. So shout out to Giddey for taking and knocking down all those open threes tonight, including especially that pull-up in transition. And shout out for being an absolute goon when you ran back to your bench. I love it.
I said I wanted it, and I got it. Matt Peck, he don't disappoint, ladies and gentlemen. Will Perdue, it's tough act to follow there.
Yeah, but so, I'm just going to kind of be a little chill here.
Okay.
But for me, it was Dosunmu.
Oh.
Yes. Because I just, much like we saw in the Memphis game, I thought he was the catalyst to changing the direction of how this game was being played. Not only with his effort offensively, but defensively. It's just it's really hard for me to put my finger on it, but there's just something different about him. Obviously, I think he deserves to start, but who are you not? I mean,
yeah.
So I think right now he's playing to me, when you look at how he's playing right now, he's making a serious run for Sixth Man of the Year.
Yes.
Woo!
Call that.
And it's not just about points.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the impact he's having on the game on both ends of the floor, and just like he's taken his game to the next level, but also the basketball IQ of actually how he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me the other night what happened with all of a sudden I drew a blank at OKC, where
which player on OKC? A player on OKC?
Yeah, the one that got traded from the Bulls. I'm just drawing.
Caruso.
His line was like
the
minimal,
point, yeah.
But the impact that he had on the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Io's,
he was like a plus 19.
Yes.
Yeah, but Io's doing that, but also scoring, rebounding, assisting. It's not like he's exploded for 30, but that 12 points that he had tonight was more like it had the effect of a 20-point game.
Mm.
Yeah.
The 4 rebounds and the 4 assists were more like 8 and 8 because of how timely they are and how it changed the direction of how this game was going. Because, like, when we got there, the Bulls were already down 16.
Yes, they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Io had a lot to do with changing the momentum of that game and starting that climb back up the hill.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the assists on top of what he did in transition scoring, but that one no-look dime he had driving baseline was gorgeous.
Vicious.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, Will Perdue, I asked you to follow that up, and you absolutely did, sir. Well done.
I didn't have the necessarily energy.
Yeah, but you had the facts, and can't dispute that.
But I also haven't had
That's a happy one. You see,
I only had one beverage, so I'm not sure. You know, that's the other thing I'm thinking about. Peck's in a bad position.
Okay.
Story of my life, Will.
He'll have a few pops when they're not playing well.
Uh-huh.
But then he'll have a few pops when they are playing well because they're not supposed to be playing well. And they're supposed to be losing.
Welcome to his life.
I'm going to let you know a little secret, Uncle Will.
He's always angry.
Peck has a few pops all the time. Regardless of the situation, everyone just needs a few pops all the time to get through life.
Few pops, Peck. Katie, Goon of the night.
I have a real choice, but I want to shout out some of these really good comments first. First of all, absolutely, I should be Goon of the Night. Thank you for saying that.
For what reason? You need to explain it. If you're going to give it to us.
I don't know what it was. This was like an hour ago, but I think it's correct. Whatever that was, correct.
We can go back and rewatch the live chat replay.
Whatever that.
And then figure out whatever it was when his comment came in.
Can you not highlight that for later?
Devin, let us know
what
that is.
Yeah, Devin, if you're still hanging out in the live chat, let us know what that is.
Help us out.
Why Katie should win Good of the Night.
We know she's got it.
It's not like she's.
We want to know what.
It's not like she's saying the Empire theme song tonight.
Yeah, it's not like that happened.
That's not gonna happen.
That's not a thing.
Anyway, the other one I wanted to highlight, Goon of the Night, is the rims at the UC. Yeah, they took a beating in that fourth quarter. That was rough.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Peter Patton, Goon of the Night, Goon of the season. I like
that. Dude, for real.
Too. Yeah.
Telling
Peter
you.
Patton, yeah, he's been doing his thing. That's real.
Peter Patton and the development team.
Yeah.
Earning their paychecks.
Yes, they are. Ching, ching.
Also, speaking of, like, Prison Mike said, Good of the Night, maybe the UC rims. Maybe that poor UC employee, the squeegee guy who got yelled at by Vooch in that timeout. Did you see that?
I didn't see
when
that.
Vooch slipped on the floor? And then apparently, like, he did circle back and apologize.
Who always was yelling at them squeegee guys, Matt? It would be me. All right. Oh, God, I don't want to get into it.
Dave's not saying he can do a better job. He's just saying.
No, I'm just saying you can get people that, not going to do it. Goon of the Night. This title, this belt, this wonderful, mesmerizing thing goes to Josh Giddey.
Hey.
Josh Giddey wins Goon of the Night for two facts. For one,
can't go wrong.
The pull-up three was absolutely ridiculous.
Stupefying.
And you're right, Matt. Like him running back and just getting mad and watching the hair just flow.
Dude, he Howard Dean'd it on his way back.
Yes, he did. He immediately watching Coby push him in the chest and just how excited it was. Yeah. But also because it made me and Will Perdue just look at each other and have an awesome laugh. Like, what? That is amazing. Shout out to Josh Giddey we were very proud of him.
Did he eat the whole wheel of cheese tonight?
We weren't even mad. Wasn't even mad. It's impressive. Oh, man. So, Josh Giddey, your wheel of cheese comes in the form of a belt. Empire Tonight's Goon of the Night is you, my friend. Wear it proud.
I love that. 3 wins in their first 5 games and 3 different Goons of the Night.
It's true.
So I think that we need to, there's got to be a way for you to mass produce that belt.
Meaning?
So that when these guys actually win it, we can make sure that it's delivered.
We can
I would love to do that.
Ship them off to these players. That would also require us knowing the home addresses of Chicago. I guess we could just send them to the UC.
Actually, we just give them the wheel.
Well,
and
yeah,
to walk in the locker room and throw it at them like, this is yours.
If a Bulls player got a mysterious looking package that it wasn't Amazon, it wasn't whatever, and my name was on the return address, they'd be like, bomb, it's a bomb. It's a bomb.
First of all, shout out to you thinking the Bulls players know Matt Peck. Shout out to you for that.
No, I'm saying,
shout out to you,
saying the Bulls PR staff who would intercept those packages.
Fair. Okay, that's fair.
Would be like, oh, it's from Peck. It's a bomb.
It's a bomb. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I can take that.
Matt's on a list somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't debate
the package just says to get it delivered right to their locker.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this package came in directly for you. Candygram.
I don't even know how to get my hands on anthrax. Don't worry.
Why'd you bring up anthrax?
Remember when that was all the rage?
Yeah,
worrying about anthrax in the mail?
All the rage.
Jesus, man.
All the rage.
This show's got, we talked about Jeffrey Dahmer. We talked about anthrax.
You kicked it off, Will.
You don't get to say anything. You started talking about Jeffrey Dahmer way before anthrax.
I just mentioned him. I wasn't talking about him.
You set the tone, man.
No, you started talking about his job was right next to the practice facility or something.
The chocolate factory.
The chocolate factory where he worked. Like, you can't pull into the old Mecca. And then it was before the new place. What did they call it?
The Burdo Center?
No, up in Milwaukee. You know, you pull in and you smell the chocolate.
Bradley Center?
Yeah, the Bradley Center. And you're like, hey, that's where Jeffrey Dahmer worked. And you're like, ooh. And then, of course, you think about Batman. And you're like,
Batman?
The movie about when it fell into the vat, and you're like, think there was a finger in there?
Yeah, could be.
But
could be.
The Jack Nicholson Batman.
Yes,
sir.
Let's get back to
let's get back to it. Well, real quick,
I think we
got to shout out the diehards real quick before we come back and wrap up the show and take a look at a couple of super chats.
I have another story for you.
Okay, and one more story from Uncle Will. Shout out to everybody who has joined the Cool Kids Club over the last week as we've rolled out this incredible limited time offer, just $4 a month to sign up to become a first-time CHGO diehard.
Smart people.
If you sign up in this window, it's usually $6.50-ish a month.
Yeah.
For our normal membership subscription monthly. Right now, you can get it for just $4 a month across an entire year. That's $48 for a year. Yeah. For the best sports coverage in this great sports city that we all love.
Facts.
And these teams that we cheer for. The best of the best when it comes to the coverage of our and writing by our credentialed reporters, including that guy, Gottlieb, who we were just talking to. We say the best of that, and a lot of that in season for diehards only. Also, that Discord lounge for diehards only. Hang out with your fellow sports fans. Don't worry about the ads on Twitter if you want to talk sports with your fellow diehards. Plus, discounts for most of all of our events, including CHGO Bears tailgates, CHGO Bears events. They're heading out to the desert for Bears Cardinals this upcoming weekend. Also, 20% off every time you shop that CHGO and ALLCITY merch locker, plus the free shirt of your choice when you show up.
It's free.
Deals on deals on deals, perks everywhere, and only $4 a month right now.
Yeah.
There are more expensive things that people ask you to pay when it comes to Chicago sports.
That's
so
true.
what are you waiting for? It's time to become a Chicago diehard.
Oh my God, he can't help himself. But that wasn't pretty good. I can be front.
Have you ever known me to be a person who can help himself, Dave?
It's fair. It's fair. One of the reasons I love you. It's true. It's who you are.
Uncle Will, you said you had a story?
Yeah, so that's kind of where I was talking about. You'd be surprised if we could give those to the players.
Okay.
Because they would actually think this is pretty cool.
Yes, they would.
Guys would probably actually set this up in their locker.
Okay. I mean,
there is some of that with especially college football. You know, like the guys who get the takeaway on defense,
takeaway chain and all that stuff.
But, like trophy.
Okay, we could do it like this then. So let's tally up the victories.
Yep.
And whoever has the most, we'll call it the Goon of the Month, and we'll give that player the belt.
I like
that.
You like that?
And then all we got to do is we can go to
like that.
We go to practice one day or shoot around day of the game and make the presentation.
Yeah. If they let us. Well, he can't come. Solidarity. He can't
that's right.
Yeah, he can't roll.
But can he go to the practice facility? That's not the United Center.
That's true.
I was in the practice facility for Media Day.
That's
they let me in there once a year.
Yeah.
There was somebody close by watching.
Oh my God! Was it right from up top?
But it reminded me.
Seal the doors.
So they don't do that now, but they used to do for Bulls radio. They used to do Player of the Game.
Yeah.
So they would have to nominate somebody for Player of the Game.
Yeah.
And that segment was brought to you by, I think back then maybe it might have been Seiko Watch Company.
Okay.
Right? And when you did the interview, the guys would travel with the watches. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the interview, they go, and this interview for Player of the Game brought to you by Seiko, and they'd hand you the watch and the box and everything. You'd be like, wow, that's cool. And
this is cooler than a watch.
Needless to say, my friend's got a lot of watches.
I was going to say, NBA players have lots of probably expensive watches.
Yes, nice.
I think it was maybe last season or the season prior, it was maybe soon after Zach signed his contract, and there was some ad in like a sports magazine or something about these watches that Zach likes. Or no, it's when you and I were talking to him.
Yes, we did.
And you were asking him about his fashion because you've always respected Zach's fashion. Yeah, you were asking about his watches, and he dropped some brand name of some watch that I had never heard of before in my life. And after we were done doing like our 8-minute Mountain Dew promo interview with Zach for Locked On, shout out Locked On.
Shout out.
I went and Googled it, and I was like, the cheapest watch that they sell on their website is $450,000. What are these watches?
Pocket change.
My
That's
God.
what you're saying about that. Pocket change, man.
Let's shout out the super chats, and then we'll wrap things up. What do we got, Katie?
Prison Mike, my favorite name, is back again.
Prison Mike. The Dementors.
Yep. He says, Bulls win. That fourth, though. Yeah, thank you for the Yours was much better. Both teams look like they ate gruel sandwiches. Rough. Great Office reference. Thank you, CHGO, for the coverage. You guys are freaking awesome.
You're awesome. You're freaking awesome, Prison Mike. Appreciate you. And yes, that fourth quarter was a big old bowl of gruel. Yuck.
This is another one where I wish I knew when this came in.
Schwo saying he's always been a Universal Studios guy?
Yeah, apparently we must have said something. I don't know.
What we do, Schwo?
Were we talking about the soon-to-be-released Jeffrey Dahmer biopic at some point?
On Disney Plus.
Yes, of course. The Disney film about Jeffrey Dahmer. Take the whole family.
We need to go to bed.
Flip side, shout out to our guy Flip Side, a.k.a. JR from DR, who also threw us a super chat saying, Will the GOAT, if you could please add the clip of Vooch doing the this motion when he was trying to explain that 3-second call.
Yeah.
He wants that added into the Dancing Cat Bulls win video.
Okay.
Which I think is a very solid recommendation.
Who's the wrestler that did that?
That was DX, Degeneration X. Yeah, they were telling everyone 2 seconds.
If you ever have a wrestling question, Will,
I'm the one.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Right here.
Come hang out when we have our wrestling.
So did you ever used to watch Florida wrestling? I used to
Florida
watch on
was a big deal, man.
Saturday mornings.
Yeah, it was a big deal back in the day when they were doing the territories and stuff. That was a big deal.
Dusty Rhodes,
American Dream, brother.
And then
son of a plumber.
I'm going to give you a quick question.
Okay.
This wrestler played football at Florida State.
I don't know who is.
He was part of is it Ron Simmons?
Oh, Ron Simmons, the first ever African American world heavyweight champion. Ron Simmons. Really? Shout out to him. Yep.
They used to be on Saturday mornings down in Florida. It used to be
that was in the 90s.
No, it was before that.
You know what I mean? I'm just talking when he won. When he won the title.
But this was
that's how long black people have come a long way.
Thanks, Mr. McMahon.
Man.
You watch Little Soul Train, and then after that you watch Little Wrestling.
Shout out. Come on, man.
Sounds like a pretty great Saturday.
Shout out to him.
See, we don't just talk about Jeffrey Dahmer, okay? We have other topics.
We got a lot of topics here, man.
Wrestling and Soul Train.
Yeah. It's literally how we got outside.
And Bulls basketball.
Was talking about Tom Hanks.
There you oh my gosh. He was on Colbert last night.
He was?
Yeah, promoting his new movie with Robin Wright.
Yeah,
Time
I saw
is a
that.
Flat Circle.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked crazy. All shot in like one room. All right. I'll wait for it to come out.
Well, we'll see if he's on a plane or a train or not.
Yeah. If he's on a vessel. He go anywhere near a vessel.
Stay away from Tom Hanks if he's on a mode of transportation.
Stay away, guys. Stay away. Remember him and Forrest Gump on the boat? Almost lost Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
Just saying. It happened.
Turned into a shrimp mogul instead. Thank you for hanging out with us, Bulls Nation, to break down this Bulls big win. Surprise win? Over the Orlando Magic.
Surprise. Yes.
Bulls go to 3-2 on this young season.
Another surprise.
They'll be back in action on Friday, but before that, these guys will have a live podcast for you guys tomorrow, 5:30. Big Dave and the GOAT hanging out with y'all, 5:30 Central.
Where are you?
I am heading.
He sounds angry as hell.
I'm heading down to Texas for a little mini vacay weekend getaway.
That's
right.
right.
See my nieces tomorrow morning, catching a flight.
Gotta go see his kryptonite, man. The nieces, baby.
I'm gonna go trick or treating tomorrow.
That's acceptable.
Thank you.
All right.
What are you dressing up as?
Uncle Matt's just going to show up and be assigned a costume maybe, and I will wear whatever they tell me to wear because I can't say no to those girls.
He cannot. It's his kryptonite.
And then I'm going to go chill in a pool and drink some beer.
Yeah. Hopefully not a kiddie pool.
Shout out to them. They just finished this big renovation of their backyard in-ground pool.
Oh, you about to test that out.
Oh, yeah.
You going to test
while
that out.
While I take turns telling each of my nieces to bring me Uncle Matt a beer because I don't want to get out of the pool.
And don't shake it.
No.
That's right. Who can get Uncle Matt the beer fastest?
Yes. This long weekend is how I'm going to mentally prepare myself for Bulls action from November to December until I get to see them again around the holidays.
Well, you enjoy that, sir.
You
deserve it. Have
Thanks
a lot
for
of
holding
fun.
down the fort.
Got you back.
In the meantime, Will_Gottlieb is where you can find his Bulls reporting. ALLCITY.com is where you can read his stuff, especially you diehards out there. Follow our guy, Uncle Will_Perdue, 32 man in the middle.
Oh.
Big Dave, Bow, BNWL Sports, has a final thought?
We are 50 followers away from 10K on the CHGO Bulls Twitter page.
Follow that.
50 away. So if you haven't followed us, follow us there, man. Get us to 10K.
There you go. CHGO_Bulls. Help us get to that 10K. I'm Bulls_Peck. Shout out to our friend and producer, Katie, on the controls. She's going to sing sometime, guys. So you got to keep tuning in to find out when.
When are you singing?
I sang today.
Yeah.
I'm singing
Musical
all the time.
theater legend Matt Peck sings daily here. Yes.
Everybody sings. There's only one person who don't want to sing.
What was your show?
What was my show?
Your play?
Oh, no, I was just mentioning
Grease.
the show choir that I did in college, where we did a number from Grease.
A number.
I wasn't in a full production of Grease.
That's right, just the number.
Right.
He wouldn't have made it through the whole production. There's no way. I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. This sucks. All right? Sorry, guys. This sucks. All right?
It's a really terrible musical. They'll talk to you guys tomorrow live at 5:30 Central. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night. See you, Red. Be good.
Peace and love.
We all silly like the mayor.